economics, as I said earlier in one of our principles, is the speed with which it is spreading. Everything, the deterioration politically, financially, worldwide is accelerating dramatically. It's not just going at a normal pace or a gradual pace, it is exploding. And we have to figure out what that means. As alluded to earlier, when panic sets in, as it is now doing in Europe, the stampede for the exits hits with lightning speed. One apparent contradiction is that's hard to wrap our minds around is that while credit and with it the economy and most financial assets are contracting, consumer prices are still rising. Consider fuel, medical, education, fuel prices, food prices, and one could guess that price inflation on these kinds of things is close to 10%. John Williams' Shadow Government Statistics says it's around 9.5%. Actually, energy and food prices were up 18.7% from March 2009 to March 2010. We're up almost 4 percentage points in March of this year. Food prices alone rose over 6% in the first quarter of this year. The necessities of life in the United States are now inflating faster than any time in the last 26 years. So we're actually in an inflationary recession. With the economy, unemployment, credit bubble, real estate, and stocks and bonds contracting or deflating, but the government running the printing presses faster and faster, which is going to push prices up. Deflationary depressions. This is important, and I speak at monetary and financial conferences all over the world, and it takes people a while to wrap their mind around this concept. But deflationary depressions can quickly morph into inflationary depressions and then hyperinflations as panicky politicians, monetary authorities run the printing presses at Mach 10 or 20 speed. Okay, now what will be our government's socialist solution to crises that they and Wall Street helped create? And I wonder sometimes if they helped create these crises intentionally. Remember, Rahm Emanuel said that these crises are great. They can have all kinds of new socialist controls and programs coming out of these crises. So they like crises, and maybe they even like to create them. With a public that's growing more angry by the day and an election only a few months away, and growing disenchantment with Obama and the Democrats, what can or will they do to make things look healthy in the economy and the financial system? Well, first they'll continue to accelerate their strong recovery propaganda and lie even more with the economic statistics. Next, they'll use Operation Scapegoat and blame the present downturn on Europe and their incredible financial irresponsibility and sovereign debt crisis, but basically a lot of their debt crisis started in America and moved over there. They'll print more money. Obama recently asked for a couple $100 billion more, but they will ultimately, they call it now quantitative easing. They'll throw trillions of dollars more at the problem over the next 6 to 12 months. Next, they'll raise taxes on hardworking individuals and producers who are making over $250,000 a year, but it's not just them. They'll raise capital gains taxes, which affects everyone. They'll raise taxes on all businesses, large and small. They're going to raise taxes on gasoline, raise taxes on medical and insurance industries, and a value-added tax. They are pushing that very hard. They have on average 20% value-added tax, which is in Europe now. In the different countries, it averages 20%, and they add that tax at every single level of production, from the field all the way to the retail store, and that would bring them in trillions of dollars from taxes. They will increase controls on businesses and individuals. The recession is an opportunity, as Rahm Emanuel has boasted, to put socialist controls and regulations on virtually every industry and every business, large and small, on individuals. The government has taken over 96% of the mortgage industry in the United States is now controlled by the government. They took over General Motors. I mean, we're not moving into socialism. We are plunging into socialism. As I said, 2008 was a coup d'etat. It was not an election, it was a coup d'etat, and the political left took over this country. Next, they'll move to exchange controls and foreign exchange controls to prevent U.S. businesses and individuals from protecting themselves by getting funds out of the U.S. I think that could happen within months. We already have de facto exchange controls, which are being rapidly expanded. The next bailout will be $165 billion for the labor unions to rescue the insolvent union pension funds, and of course to buy many, many more votes. Next, there will be censorship of hard money conservative publications, radio, TV programs that are spreading fear, as they say. This talk this morning would be spreading fear, and so under a censorship regime, you would not be able to speak like this. These are people who are telling the truth about the true condition of the economy, of the expanding government controls and regulations. Glenn Beck certainly would be one of their #1 targets. Also, they're targeting gold coin dealers, hard money newsletters, et cetera, et cetera. I believe that we're within months of major censorship in the United States, and if some major bombs or terrorist attacks go off between now and the November elections, which I think is a growing possibility if President Obama is looking bad and the Democrats in the polls, and we should have a series of terrorist attacks. Let's say they come in and somebody comes in and blows up 25 shopping centers on a given Saturday afternoon. Not only would we have police state controls on the whole economy, but we would also have censorship of, I believe, probably of the internet, of television, of newsletters like my own, et cetera, et cetera.